This report focused on how our nation's justice systems should respond to adolescents who violate the law. We were charged with doing two basic jobs. One was to review and synthesize the developing and very interesting literature on adolescent development that tends to show that adolescence is a distinct period of development, and that adolescents are different from adults in some fairly important ways, including a tendency to focus on short-term consequences and act in emotionally charged situations without thinking about long-term consequences. And the literature shows also that these differences are linked to basic differences in the development of the brain that continue into young adulthood. The second part of our charge was to align what we know about adolescent development and the science of adolescent development with policies and practices in the juvenile justice system. And in doing that, to pay particular attention to some of the transformative reforms that are already going on in a number of states in the country. As I'm sure everyone watching this video knows, adolescence is a particularly interesting and challenging time in all of our development. There are tremendous excitements, of course, for young people as they strike out to assert some independence from parents, develop attachments in the social world among peers, or experimenting with the new freedom that they have. But at the same time, of course, it presents huge risks, as this experimentation can lead to great harm, that many risks are taken under the influence of peers, and people could end up causing great harm to their future prospects by violating the law and becoming involved in the justice system. So the question, I think, and the commitment that we all have is to help young people emerge through this period with their open futures intact. The central recommendation made by the committee is that our nation's juvenile justice policymakers at the federal level and particularly at the state level should align their practices and policies of juvenile justice with the compelling body of evidence with regard to adolescent development and with regard to the effectiveness of interventions that can be undertaken to reduce juvenile offending. There are three core areas regarding the goals of the juvenile justice system that are addressed in the report. First of all, we have a strong body of knowledge about what works with regard to preventing reoffending of juveniles involved in the juvenile justice system, and that we ought, in order to take advantage of that knowledge, we need to close the correctional institutions that are often used for juveniles and instead focus on community-based programs that allow, in most instances, for children to remain at home while these programs are being used. Secondly, we need to find ways of holding youth accountable, which of course is an important objective of the juvenile justice system in order to promote a sense of responsibility and have them take responsibility for their own behavior. But we need to do that in a way that doesn't rely on the cardinal features of the criminal justice system, such as stigmatization and confinement. We need accountability without criminalization. And then finally, Young people have a heightened sensitivity to perceptions that they've been dismissed or treated unfairly. And that has got to be a key feature of a well-designed, developmentally appropriate juvenile justice system, to take into account the need to treat young people fairly. By doing so, we help them develop respect for law and successful legal socialization. But on the other hand, if we fail to do that, we could, and sometimes do, promote social disaffection and actually increase the risk of reoffending.